Thanks, Bruce. My name is Aaron Miller. I'm with the Nebraska Energy Office. I'm the Energy Program Administrator there. I work with our state energy program as well as some competitive awards that we currently have. And then I also work with our Dollar and Energy Savings Loan Program. And so Bruce talked about that a little bit and how you can use that financing program to finance solar projects as well as other energy saving projects, either a wastewater plant or for your community or even for your own homes. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that today, kind of give you an overview, show you how it works, and so look at it here. The plan we started the savings plan or the loan program in 1990, and we started it with 10 million of oil overcharge funds. And over the years we've grown that. We added $11 million to it and during the ARA time frame, and over the years we've grown it to about 48 million now. We work with Nebraska lenders, banks, credit unions, savings institutions. They do have to be a chartered bank or savings institution in the state of Nebraska, and there are 230 around there that are chartered in Nebraska with over 900 locations across the state. So there's quite a few different banks or savings institutions that you can use. The projects are going to be for any energy efficiency project, renewable energy including solar, alternative fuels, and waste minimization as well. And like Bruce said, too, you can do other products that aren't, or other projects that aren't previously approved, as long as they pay for themselves over the time that you use them. Some of the energy efficiency things that we see a lot are going to be like efficient appliances, windows, insulation, heating and cooling systems in homes, as well as your solar projects and things like that for as well. The interest rate on those, what we kind of wanted to do with it when we first started it was to have a way to finance these energy savings projects at a low rate for the borrower, while also allowing the banks or savings institutions to still be able to get a market rate for those loans. So the rates vary anywhere from 1% to 5%. We do have a cap at 5% on the loans. We won't participate if the rate's going to be higher than that. As far as our participation levels, we buy part of the loan from the bank, which is determined on the interest rate of the loan. So anywhere from 1% up to 3.5%, we'll buy 65% of the loan. Over 3.5% up to 5%, we will participate in 50% of the loan. So, and I'll talk about it a little later, but for the wastewater projects, we do have a special 1% rate where we'll participate in 90% of the loan as well. So that's kind of an added benefit to that. Let's see here. So David kind of talked about too the amount of projects we've done since the early 1990s. So over 29,000 projects with 341 million of investments, and then we've participated in 166 million of those loans. And then I have at the bottom too a write-off that David talked about earlier, less than 0.1%, so which is really exceptional on that. As far as the borrowers, you do have to be a Nebraska resident. It can be for individuals' homes, businesses, small governments can all use that, as well as industrial and farms as well. So they do have to be a Nebraska resident, and the property or the operation does have to be in the state of Nebraska as well. So those are just some of the requirements for that. Here's kind of an overview, kind of graphically, of the process. So when you go to do a project, you would get a bid on there. We require at least one bid, but we don't require multiple bids. We obviously say that it's prudent to get multiple bids, just so you can get the best cost on the project. But you'll take that bid, you'll go to your lender, fill out the application with them. They'll approve the application, and then they will submit the project and the loan application to us. We will approve that and then send a commitment back to the bank at that time. the bank is going to be the one who administers the loan. So they're going to have the responsibility to collect payments on it. They're going to be setting up the loan with the bank, as well as doing any type of collections and things like that. So we rely on them to do that part of the loan process because they're very good at doing that type of thing. And our office probably wouldn't be as good as that. So after we commit the funds to the lending institution, they make the loan, and then you would do the improvements that you were wanting to make. After that, you start paying back the loan, you remit it to the bank, and they take the interest on the full amount of the loan. We don't collect any interest on that, and then they send back just our portion that we purchased back to us. And then once we get that money back, we loan it out for other projects as well. So it just keeps recycling through over the years. I think I saw a stat that I think our loan program has cycled through at least 7 times, if not more, from when we started it. So just keep sending it back, or back out there for people to use. We do have a minimum or a maximum loan project of $500,000 that we will do without prior approval. So if you have a project that's going to be over that $500,000, we do have to approve that first. It's kind of just depending on several factors, whether we have enough funds to cover it as well. If what we think we're going to have available in the future is going to come in too. So sometimes we'll know if we get like a big payoff coming in the future, we can kind of look at that too. A little bit on the wastewater. I know Bruce and I mentioned it earlier, so we can do 1% loans for the wastewater participants, and our study was for participants under 10,000 population. And right now, like you said, we're doing some audits on some of the higher energy intensive plants that came out of our first initial assessment. So we'll be completing that this year, and we're partnering with the University of Nebraska Engineering College to do that. If your plan didn't do one of the audits, you can still get the 1% loan. We just would need the preliminary assessment and then agree to track the energy use over the life of the loan. That's that. Let's see. Bruce talked about you could do other pre-qualified projects. So specifically for the wastewater, it would include variable drives, digital controls, energy assessments and audits, and building improvements. As far as the solar loans that we have made over the last, here's some information on the last 3 years. And so 2015 we made 8 loans, total project cost about $500,000. In 2016 you can see it jumped up very significant. We did 30 solar loans with over $5 million of project costs on there. And then last year in 2017, still did 14, added 14 loans with over $1 million of project costs on there. So you can kind of see, well, in 2016 it was quite a big jump on there, but I would probably say the trend would be, to keep increasing as, hopefully the costs stay lower, keep increasing for solar energy. One final thing, just to reiterate, the improvements cannot be made until the Energy Office has approved and made a commitment to your lender. So that is just one thing that we stress, don't make any improvements until we have actually approved it. But other than that, I think if you have any questions, you can always go onto our website. We have all our information, all detailed forms on there. For solar projects, it's a fairly simple process. It's one form for the project, and Bruce reviews those, and it's pretty straightforward. And Bruce would probably say, as long as we have all the information, we can get those approved within a few business days. So it doesn't take too long once we get everything we need on there. So. But if you have any questions, you can feel free to contact me. My information's on there as well as Bruce, and we'd be glad to help you out.